everybody. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Just back at you with another quick hit. Oi, Lord willing, this is edifying. Oi, this lesson, I haven't been thinking about it too much because, listen, if you're teaching the word right, you will kind of open up yourself up for criticism, people to remember you're on a platform. So you're teaching this word, you have a platform. So you're going to get people that watch, you're going to have certain people that are going to be intrigued, other people are going to be suspicious, other people are going to be envious. You're going to get that. I understand that completely, 100%. But we're going to go into the aspect of something what you call monitoring. They call it monitoring spirits. Okay? And these spirits, yes, they are sent. Guess who sends them? The devil. The devil himself sends these monitoring spirits. And it's self-explanatory. What is a monitor? Right? We're going to quickly type in monitor and see what comes up. Monitor. Just type in meaning, monitor, meaning. These things are real, by the way. Monitoring spirits. Monitor, a usually electronic device used to record or regulate or control a process or system. A video display speaker used in production studio to check audio or video quality. A device, video signals from computer displays information. So yes, you do know technology and all that. That could be used to monitor you. Well, I'm on technology now, but it can be used to monitor you. And you know what's so spiritual? As I switched on this device, right, guess what it says? And it's got a little key on it. And it says, this network may be monitored. This is what it says on my device at the bottom right-hand corner. This network may be monitored. So these spirits, they watch what we do and they keep a note. And this is how you get something called certain setbacks, right? You call it setbacks. You can call it hindering and so forth. Because these monitoring spirits, they act as hindrances, right, to our progress. And yes, they are sent by the devil, by the way. Whether it's a witch, whether it's a warlock, whether it could just be an ordinary person, but they don't know that they have a monitoring type of spirit upon them, which is an evil spirit. So we're going to go into Psalms 37, right? These things are real. It is biblical, right? And there is things you can do to prevent it. This is Psalms 37 and 31. The law of his power is in his heart. None of his steps shall slide. Check this out. The wicked watcheth the righteous. So if you're watching, you're looking, you're observing from a distance. These monitoring spirits, they don't want you to know they're watching. That's why it's a monitoring spirit. But the moment you know it's a monitoring spirit, they don't have that power over you because you see them. You see them in their homes, hiding in their homes, man. Like a bunch of cockroaches, man. So as it says, the wicked watcheth the righteous. Righteous just means upright, and seeketh to slay him. So this is a serious thing. What does slay mean? Slay means to kill. Have one executed. And look up this word. It says to die prematurely. So you got to be careful of people around you. You have to be observant. Check this out. To die prematurely by neglect of wise moral conduct. Come on. This is why the scriptures tells us to be wise. Right? Keep your businesses. Don't be telling these people what you're doing. Because yeah, you have it, bro. Listen, you could be living in an apartment or a flat and you have people that want to come around you. That's why you have to be wise, man. People you don't even know. But they may know what you're doing. They may know what you're about. So they want to come and mess that up and so forth. You have to be careful, bro. There's a lot of psychopaths, bro. I don't know. You could be living next door to you could be sharing you could be sharing an accommodation with a serial killer, man. You don't know. right? And mostly these type of people, we already know they have narcissistic personality traits as well. They're very demonic. But the main thing is, yeah, and seeketh to slay him. That's why you got to be wise. If you feel that something quite ain't right, someone ain't right, you protect your energy and you get from among that person. You don't stay around them because you can sense this person something ain't right with him or her. This is verse 33. The Lord will not leave him in his hands, nor condemn him when he is judged. So we're not going to be left in the hand of the wicked, nor condemn him when he's judged. And there is signs. Listen, there's signs. Say if you're having a conversation with, say, a family member, right? And as soon as you get off the phone to them, someone else is speaking about what you just spoke about to your family member. That's a monitoring demonic spirit. That's a demonic agent, man. That's why, listen, bro, you do what you got to do. Do what you have to do. No, so we will not be condemned not when he is judged. So you got to be careful because these people are trying to keep tabs on us, man. These people have devices, man. This is how demonic they are. Some of these people have devices in their households, man. Whether it's a router, could be, a modem to see what you're doing, right? Some of these people have, what do you call it? Sensors. There's another thing where it's like a laser. You can see through walls. I forgot what it's called now. Where they can see through the wall. It's like an X-ray type of thing. Yeah, bro, you have to be cautious of these people. Why are they doing that for? And some of the times, yeah, we can blame ourselves because it depends what you're putting out. Are you using discretion? Are you moving wisely? Are you telling people your business? So one of the ways that's done is also through social media, right? If you're always on social media posting, of course people are going to be able to monitor you because you're always posting on social media. So people can see, well, the progress. Are you progressing? Are you not? That's how you're able to be monitored. So some advice is also is, how about staying off social media? I don't know, 5 days, 4 days a week, then see how things go. Right? They can only monitor you by the information you're giving them. That's the only way they can do that. Or if they have a certain device, that's the only way they can do it. Because we know Satan can't be everywhere. He's not omnipresent. So he would need to use demonic people that have not shut them doors that can be used. And he can also use technology. So when we use his technology, some of the times we make it kind of easy for him. And if you see people that have a lot of animals, right? Say they have animals, right? And you hear a lot of running around or, example, cats, right? Cats, dogs, cats can be used as a monitoring spirit, okay? Because you see it with witchcraft. What do witches do? They summon this spirit. They use a cat, right, as an entity, because a cat is an entity. It's a body, right? And they channel their spirit through a cat, and they can have that cat try to monitor you. I've seen this before, right? Whether it's a black cat, white cat, gray cat, they can do that. And this is to gather information, right? And they can also use dogs, right? They can speak to these dogs in their witchcraft language and summon spirits upon them, and that dog be acting all funny. So yeah, these things, they do things like this. They do things like this, man. Channel spirits and so forth. Try to gather intel. They can send their dogs out because dogs pick up on things. And also, I've talked about this before. Excuse me just a minute. Let's see if I can find that scripture where it talks about a bird. Oh, what was it? How does it go again? Sure, if I can find it. It's nothing to be scared about, because listen, like I said, you're on a platform, you're teaching, you're gonna be watched. Some people are gonna be interested. I'm not saying everybody that watches you is wicked, but this is for those that have evil, wicked intentions and they're being used by the devil to watch what other people are doing. which is illegal, by the way. And that's where you get your form of gang stalking as well. So like, I'm just waiting for this to load up. Speak not evil of the king. Let me see if I can find it. Excuse me just a minute. Speak not evil of the king. The bird shall carry that message. Bird shall carry. This is all biblical. Everything we got, it's all biblical. Check this out. Check this out. Monitoring spirits. Yeah, people can use animals. People use cats. People use dogs. They can use a gecko, lizard. They can use rats. Rats can also be used because remember, rats bury stuff. So witches, they also like to use rats and animals because rats bury stuff. They plant stuff in gardens. It's very real. Right? Witches, they jump into animals, man. So another thing, if you see a lot of crows, you already know what crows are associated with. Death, right? Evil, omens. That's where you get the word auguration, summoning. So if you see a lot of birds around in a circle or whatever, that's summoning. Right? Yeah, people use birds as well. So check this out. This is Ecclesiastes 10 and 20. Curse not the king. No, not in thy thoughts. And curse not the rich in thy bedchamber. Check this out. For a bird of the air shall carry the voice. A bird. Whether it's a pigeon, whether it's a crow, the bird shall carry the... So that means birds, they pick up on what's being said. Can you believe that? A bird shall carry the voice, and I've dealt with this before, Baba Krishna, shall carry the voice, that which have wings shall tell the matter. So say if you're having a conversation about someone, or you're murmuring, or you're complaining, that person can find out. It would be known to them because the bird will carry that message. This is so spiritual. That's a form of a monitoring spirit. The bird of the air shall carry the voice, that which have wings shall tell the matter. Heavy stuff right here, right? This was in Ecclesiastes 10 and 20. And I've dealt with high level monitoring in my life. I still deal with it. But I'm talking about, it's lessened now. The animals don't really get sent to me like that. But there was one point in my life where, listen, they were using the cats, they were using crows. I'm talking about like 40, 50 crows, man. Right? But guess what I done? Basically, I bind it. I binded them spirits, them monitoring spirits that were in birds. And the next thing I started to see is birds drop dead on the pavement. So yeah, you can bind these spirits as well, and you're going to start seeing birds dropping dead. And I didn't want it to happen, but this is what they do. This is how the kingdom of darkness operates. It monitors God's children, right? And the reason why this is happening, because you have some type of anointing, and they don't want you to see that, right? Excuse me just a minute. And this is all throughout the scriptures. The Messiah was being monitored. Read Matthew 2 by Herod. He sent magi's, right? King David was being monitored. We can go to that right now. So check this out. King Saul, David. Check this out. This is all biblical, man. These are evil spirits that are being used. There's nothing wrong with admiring, but obsession, that's something. Obsession is demonic. To have an obsession, that goes into the realms of being demonic. So you got spirits on you. If this applies to you, you got spirits on you, and you may need to fast. So we're gonna go to 1 Samuel 18 and 9. Like we don't see what you're doing. Yeah, we know you got devices in your houses, man. Illegally watching people. Like a perv. Let's go to 1 Samuel 18 and 9. Where should we start, Baba Kishore? And it came to pass as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, that the women came out of all the cities singing and dancing to meet King Saul. And I've noticed that as well. Listen, you're going to have women that watch you as well, but with good intentions, man. Right? So you had women cheerleaders dancing and singing to meet King Saul with tabrets, with joy, and with instruments of music. And women answered one another as they played and said, Saul have slain his thousands, David his 10,000s. And Saul was very wroth, that means angry, upset, and was saying this pleased him. So he wasn't very happy because King David had more bodies than him. And it displeased him, and he said, they have ascribed unto David 10,000s, and to me they have ascribed but thousands. So there was a bit of jealousy here, envy. And what can he have more but the kingdom? Because he knew that he was going to be his predecessor, King David. And Saul eyed David from that day forward. Key thing, eyed. Have you ever heard of the evil eye? You ever get people giving you an evil eye? Right? They call it, the Muslims call it jinn or whatever. That's an evil eye. So Saul eyed David from that day forward. Watched him because he saw his potential. He saw it. He knew. So you're going to have people that eye you because they also see your potential and what you could become. This is where you get monitoring spirits. Okay? And this is in many different ways. And it came to pass on the world that an evil spirit from God came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house, and David played with his hands at other times. And there was a javelin in Saul's hand, and Saul cast a javelin, and he said, I will smite David even to the wall with it. So he wanted to kill King David. So these are real spirits. These spirits, the wicked watcheth the righteous and seeketh to slay him. Yes, some of these people are quite dangerous, man. Some of these people are dangerous. Because I always say obsession is completely different from you just watching someone to see what they're about. Obsession, that's something else. Right? Obsession is someone that will follow you around. That's an obsession. That's why you got to, again, stay in the scriptures. Stay in the scriptures, man. And this is what, that's the whole gang stalking thing. It's like, and it's the same thing. It's people monitoring you. And I want to give away some clues from my own experience. Say if you step outside and you have someone, they will look at you, then they look at their watch. The reason why they doing that, because they were told to go out a certain time. And look at, some people do it to see what time you've came out. He's came out at this time. So these are also monitoring spirits. You see people looking at their watches as well, looking at you. They're seeing what time you've left out, what time you've went in. And another sign is, well, the obvious one is cameras. That's an obvious one, right? If you see excessive amount of cameras placed, and this could just be when you've, you may be in a new environment and all of a sudden you start seeing neighbors put up cameras and so forth. Well, that's a sign of a monitoring spirit. And we know listen. You already know they move certain people in. They give them free rent, free housing to monitor other people. Like, bro, I've seen it. We see what your wicked ass is doing. And these people tend not to leave the house a lot. They tend to stay in the house. So that's another sign as well. Or if they do leave the house, they have somebody else coming in straight after them immediately. So one would leave, one would come in. One would leave, one would come in. One would leave, one would come in. That's a monitoring spirit. And these people are, a lot of the time, they're sent by the devil. But guess who sends them? Witches and warlocks and handlers. Because your handler is a warlock, right? And they do this to get information. It's all about intel. It's all about information. What are you doing? What are you thinking? I just hope this lesson's edifying. It's nothing to be worried about, because when you read Psalms, what does it say? Who that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. So if you're in the secret place, which is the word, you're abiding in his shadow. I will say to the Lord, he is my refuge, my fortress, my power, in him will I trust. So it's nothing to be worried about. Okay, but it's something to be mindful about. Because if you have a group of people that are doing that, well, you kind of need to ask yourself, well, why? because it's an evil motive behind it. And a lot of it comes from jealousy and envy and trying to compete as well, right? You got certain people that they're in secret competition with us, right? So I went to that. Is there anything else? Baba Kishar. Is there anything else? Oh, yep, Acts 16 and 16. Can't forget that. Which I bring this out a lot. Let's go to Acts 16 and 16. But we want to make things easy for ourselves. You want to be wise. Quickly go to Acts 16 and 16. Because sometimes we do it to ourselves. If someone comes up to you and asks you like a million questions, or that could be a monitoring spirit, stop relaying your information to strangers, man. It's none of their business, right? Oh yeah, they also hack. Another thing they do, they hack your phone, right? I remember I changed. What did I do? I think it was a month ago. I changed my SIM card. And you had this nigger, this grimy nigger that came through the front door. And guess what he said? Too late. That's what he said. Too late. So in other words, he was letting me know that basically he has hacked my phone. Yeah, they do all this type of stuff. They hack phones. It's weird behavior. It's weird behavior. Right? But I don't care about all that anyway, because if you have a phone, of course it's going to be monitored. But I don't care. I don't care about all that. Wait just a minute. So we got Acts 16 and 16. Check this out. When we go to Acts 16 and 16, it says, and it's as it came to pass as we went to pray, a certain damsel, right? This damsel, what does damsel mean? Damsel means young. This was a young girl, damsel. She was a female slave, basically. So this was a female slave. So that means she had a handler, possessed. Oh, hold on just a minute. Missed it. So possessed, she was demonically possessed with the spirit of divination. So here it is, you had a slave girl, young slave girl, and she was under demonic possession, right? Because there's still money in, people do dark arts. There's money, people get paid for that. There's still money to be made in it. There's witches that get hired. I've told you about the whole gang stalking, how they move witches, these warlocks into the neighborhoods and have them trying to do spells and spell casting and the hocus pocus and the abracadabra and all that nonsense. And, just a minute. This is what they do. That's Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Let's go to Acts 16 and 60. Where was I? Yeah, she had the spirit of possessed with the spirit of divination. So she was possessed with the spirit of divination. You know what divination is, right? Tarot cards, Luigi boards, hexes, pentagrams, voodoo, all that type of dark stuff. And it says in the Greek, Pythion serpent or dragon that's dwelt in the region of Python, okay, at the foot of Parnassus in Phycus, was said to have guarded the oracle at Delhi. This is an idol, spirit of divination, which means Python. So it's the snake serpent spirit. So we also have to be cautious because it's a snake serpent spirit. What is it? A snake is crafty. A snake is crafty, right? So the spirit of divination, basically, they communicate with left-hand side spirits, right? That give them that relay certain information, right? But concerning the men of the Lords, it's limited because the Lord ain't going to give a witch all the information concerning you. That's not going to happen. And these are familiar spirits, by the way, which brought to her masters much gain by soothsaying. So she had masters. In other words, she had handlers, right, that were watching her. Okay. This is interesting stuff, ain't it? And the same followed Paul. So she was following Paul around, which we know Paul was a man of the Lord's. Okay. She was following Paul. Listen, I've been through this, bro. I've had it where I could be teaching in the wilderness and you have some witches, some warlocks will follow you. They probably drive to the location you are. I've seen it. They drive to the location you are. Right? And try to monitor you. It's, oh man, that's a demonic spirit. So this young lady was following Paul around and us, I think it was Silas, and cried, saying, these men are the servants of the Most High God power. So she knew, which show us onto the way, but she was doing it in a mockery way, and she was kind of trying to compete. So she became a grievance to Paul. And this she did many days. So she was following Paul around, monitoring for many days. So assignments are real. You think assignments are not real? Assignments are real. Okay. And a lot of these assignments are through witches, basically. Many days, but Paul, being grieved, turned and said to the spirit. So that's what you got to do. You got to rebuke that spirit, right? So if you're sensing the spirit of monitoring, if you're sensing the spirit of demonic agents, you rebuke it, you bind it. Any monitoring, any demonic spirit, you're not welcome here, man. Leave in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, man, or your eyes be blinded, man. You pray that Lord blinds their eyes, smites them in the head, right? Because they're not welcome here, bro. You haven't been given that authority to monitor the men of the Lord. We can cast that spirit out. And he said to the spirit, I command thee in the name of the Lord of Yahweh Shai to come out of her. So a lot of the times you have that. What do you tell him? Come out. And remember, there's levels to it. If you think you can't do that, then you may have to separate yourself from these people because they can't be trusted. So if you feel like you don't quite have that power, well, separate yourself from these type of people because they will try to sabotage what you got. And that's what they're trying to do. Okay, sabotage. Wicked spirits. So come out of her, and he came out that same hour. So we rebuke that spirit. Come out of her, because it's a spirit. It's a demonic spirit. She was being used. And when our masters saw that the hope of their gains was gone, they caught Paul and Silas and drew them onto the marketplace of the woods. So they were not too happy now, because now they lost their gains. Okay, because Paul, he cast out that demonic spirit. So you say, come out. You demonic monitoring spirit, come out. Can't be, what, are you afraid? Are you afraid to? See, but there's levels. There's levels to this. There's levels. Remember, you're not dealing with Ephesians 6 and 11, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. These are spirits. Assignments are very real. There's certain people that are assigned demonically to other people to try to destroy their life. This is very real. And a lot of these people get sent. It could even be men. These men get sent by covens. So it's really covens, dark witch covens, that send these people. Okay. To see what you're doing so they can halt your progress. So this is a good thing because it means you're making progress. You have something. I hope this is edifying. And let's see if I can get more information on what a monitoring spirit is. Okay. I enjoy doing these lessons, you know. I hope you enjoy it as well. So I'm gonna quickly type in what is a monitoring spirit? Monitoring, even though I know what it is. What is a monitoring spirit? And see what comes up. Check this out. So okay. I've got something. This has got Christians. Okay, among the charismatic groups, a monitoring spirit is thought to be an evil spirit. It's not thought, it is. It's an evil spirit or a demon that essentially monitors someone's behavior for the purpose of inflicting hurt or pain. Whew. Remember I told you some of these people would try to secretly do you harm as well. I've told you about that. You know, when you're sleeping, or they're looking for a gateway. They're looking for entry. That's why you got to tell these people, get lost, man. You're gonna have to listen. I'm a man of the Lord, Yahweh Shai. It's not gonna work out. You're gonna have to go somewhere else because I'm not gonna tolerate that. So you're gonna have to go somewhere else because you're not gonna monitor me. And it says someone's behavior or inflicting hurt or pain into that person's life. A monitoring spirit is someone sometimes called a masquerading spirit, a watcher. So these are masquerading spirits of the devil. And we're going to quickly go to Corinthians. Spare me just a minute. So these masquerades, and I talked about animals. Yeah, they can masquerade into an animal, a cat, a dog. Then the dog starts speaking to you. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, that's witchcraft, man. Maybe just a minute. I suffer not a witch to live, but I have mercy anyway because I was once a witch. Bear me just a minute. So bear me just a minute. Corinthians. Satan has transformed himself into an angel of light. So when we go to 2 Corinthians 11 and 14, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. You know what this is? That's a masquerading spirit. So Satan comes to you nice, sweet, everything that you want to see. He can masquerade. He ain't going to come to you and say, yeah, I'm Satan. He masquerades. He jumps in people's vessels. He uses people, okay, as an angel of light. Right? So we went to that. Let's go back to where we were, find out more about this. Tools of monitoring. Hold on. All right. According to those who subscribe to this type of doctrine, a monitoring spirit can be sent by another demon or a witch or anyone with the spiritual know-how. The spirits supposedly monitor what you do, how you do it, what you say, who your friends are. So have you ever went to a relative's house and you're noticing something, right? Upstairs, you know, you might notice that I'm upstairs. You may go to your mother's house and you're like, hold on a minute. And you'll start seeing certain things around you, certain weird behavior. These are monitoring spirits. I've told you about this before, right? Went to my mother's yard, right? Because I like to do that during the week sometimes. And you had this African family, right? And I noticed they were doing something. I noticed something wasn't right with them. And I rebuked that spirit. And they were living on the top of my mother. I rebuked that spirit. And there were people coming in and out of these houses, of these rooms. So there's rooms that get rented for certain people to do this type of stuff. And I rebuked it. And guess what happened? The guy had to move out. So don't worry, bro. The Lord's in control. Eventually, these people will have to get the fuck out of there. I'm telling you, bro. Because they're not going to be able to resist the spirit. It's the spirit of Yahweh that's going to expose them. Right? That's just a little experience I had. So these people do get sent. They would send them. Listen, they're moving in. If you have a family member, they try to get to your family member. They try to get access. Right? It can be sent by a witch. What else? Their purpose is to gather information to facilitate spiritual attacks. See? You see? So it's very orchestrated. Still blessing. So they try John 10 and 10, the thief coming from not but to steal, kill, and to destroy. These people are sent by the devil to try to destroy. Infect with sicknesses. This is where you get the voodoo. I had a few people that come in where I'm living right now, a few people that come in and they try to do the little voodoo. Sabotage, success, see? Bro, keep these people away from you, man. And generally wreak havoc in the so-called victim's life, which were not victims, but their whole thing is to cause as much damage, as much destruction in your life. They're sent by the devil. Really, they're sent by a handler. It's a handler that sends these people. The tools of monitoring are puppeted to include mirrors. So some people I've seen this before, and these mirrors are the two-sided mirrors. So they have a mirror facing them and they have a mirror facing outside. And these will usually be placed right next to their window so they can see outside. They can see when you're leaving and they can channel spirits. These are real things. Brooms. Oh, they use brooms as well. Have you ever noticed you're going past a certain place and just as you go past it, they sweep. They start sweeping. And that sweeping is basically letting them know, we don't want you here. So they do the sweeping stuff. Tarot cards, crystal balls to try and get readings up on you. Um, Supposedly, monitoring spirits can possess or take the form of animals. See, I told you, such as cats, meow, baby, dogs, woof woof woof, baby, dogs. So they channel these spirits through dogs, and this is very. I'm noticing this is a very popular thing now. Everybody's pretty much doing it. Blackbirds, told you. Rats. See, listen. I've experienced all of this. Wolves. Insects. Yeah, insects can be used as well. Ants. If you have a manifestation of ants that come out of nowhere, and also flies. That's a big one. You ever notice flies come out of nowhere? Well, flies, yeah, they can be used. Okay. And the flies, that's an example of an unclean spirit that was sent your way. Because witches have unclean spirits. What else, Baba Kashaba? So if you have a manifestation of flies, and what else, Baba Kashar? They can try to manipulate your dreams, causing certain motives to occur, eating. That's why if you have a wrong dream, rebuke that dream as soon as you wake up, rebuke that dream, eating, having sex, being chased. Or if you have a dream where you're being chased, that is witchcraft. I've had it probably happened to me twice in my dreams where you're being chased. Or either by an animal, looking in the mirror, combing one's hair, seeing one's shadow, or seeing the moon. Okay. So they got information on this. What else are they saying? The Bible teaches the reality of the spiritual world, both angelic and demonic. We can assume that both angels and demons can see us and do watch us. Yeah. They were watching Job. Read Job 1. We can quickly go to that. I hope you're being edified by this lesson. We're going to go to Job 1 quickly. This is Job 1. And jump straight to 6. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord Yahweh, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. We know he can't be everywhere. He can't be everywhere at once. So, from going to and walking down. Now, he can walk up and down in it, but he can use people that are part of covens, people are part of the lodge. He can use anyone that has open doors, that hasn't repented. So that's what he's doing, walking up and down in it. Right? And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job? There is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil. So here it is. People talk about Satan's rebelling. Satan's under the orders of the Father. Right? When Satan asked the Lord and said, Doth Job fear God for naught? Has thou not made a hedge about him and about his house? So he was watching Job in the spiritual realm. Okay. And about all ye have on every side, thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increasing in thy land. So he was watching. He had an eye on Job in the spiritual realm. This is very real. And you're telling me monitoring spirits don't exist. So let's get back to this, Baba Kasha. They can see us, watch us. But to assume a whole category of demons and assign them to the role of monitoring goes far beyond what the Bible teaches. Okay. Yeah. So some of this monitoring stuff, you have to be careful with it. You have to keep things in this biblical perspective. So there are many types of demons according to some religious people. There's Python spirits, the spirit of Delilah. We went to the Python spirit, which was that woman that had the spirit of divination. There's Delilah spirit, which is Delilah. She was married to who? Samson, right? And what did Samson do? He went and told her his secrets. And what happened? What happened? He got his eyes plucked out because he was telling the woman his secrets. Right? That's why you got to be careful. You have to be careful, man. And Jezebel, this is what I deal with. This is a big one. And the Jezebel spirit, this is the spirit of narcissism. And you know what the Jezebel spirit's about? The Jezebel spirit is about domination. It's about witchcraft. It's about manipulation. It's about murder. Because Jezebel, you already know she was married to Ahab. So these are spirits. These are your principalities. Okay? And marine spirits, I don't know about this one. Marine is the water spirits. Leviathans, Kundalini, Ahabs. None of these spiritual entities are mentioned in the scripture. That is true. Some of these are not mentioned. Well, the Leviathans mentioned, the marine, that thing ain't mentioned. And we should avoid those who insist on purgating and inventing spiritual enemies. The Bible says that evil is indeed at work in this world and that believers are involved in a battle against spiritual forces of evil in heavenly realms, which is mentioned in Ephesians 6 and 10, which I bring up pretty much every day. But the convoluted demonical mythologies put forward by some charismatics are unhelpful and have more to do with the fantasy and magic than with the word of God. So in other words, he's saying some of these titles, they're not even really biblical, some of them. So in example, the Kundalini spirits, that's not in the Bible. Right? We know that has to do with India, but that's not in the Bible. We know these are known as principalities. So I don't get into all that stuff. I don't do videos on water spirits, and I don't get into none of that, because if it's not in the scriptures, it's nonsense, right? It's seducing spirits. Right? That's why you got to be careful as well of some of these things. Right? People making up their own doctrines, but yeah, nonetheless, monitoring spirits, are they real? Yeah, but you don't give them any power over you, because you let them know. Yeah, we know you're watching. Yeah, we know you're watching, but check this out. Guess who's watching everything? Check this out. Because the more you give them power, is the more power they have over you. So quickly go to the eyes of the Lord are in every place. In every place. So when you go to Proverbs 15 and 3, we shut off on this. The eyes of the Lord, Jehovah are in every place. every. Why are you worried about some cameras? Why are you? Oh yeah, neural monitoring. That's real as well. But so what? The eyes of the Lord are in every place. So that's the angels. We were ferrying some cameras. I know, we already know London's the most populated place with cameras. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the goods. So we don't really need to worry about the people that are watching us, because the watchers are being watched by by the angels. So just keep that in mind. Everything they do is being watched by a higher being. So I really hope this lesson was edifying. I didn't think it would go this long. I'm nearly 40 something minutes into the lesson already. I'm going to shut off here. And Lord, willing, this was edifying, right? Don't be scared of these spirits. Just be more cautious. Be careful who you're amongst. Be careful what you're saying. Be careful even when you're on your phone and there's people around you that you know are nosy. Just all these things, right? And don't talk too loud. And just keep it on a hush and move in silence, even though you're still going to be watched. But try to move in silence and just don't give people too much information, because they will use that and they will report back to the devil. It's as simple as that. Make things easier for yourself. Don't make things harder for yourself. Scriptures talk about discretion. So I'm going to shut off here. Lord willing, this was edifying. And until the next time, Shalom.